Hello and welcome to this lecture. We were discussing about the epitaxial growth process in the VLSI design, and today's topic is buried layer. To fabricate bipolar ICs, usually one or more diffusions are applied to the substrate to create the necessary isolation, collector, emitter, or base functions. Okay, so more than one diffusion. For what? To create the isolation, collector, emitter, or base functions. These diffusions are applied to the substrate prior to the epitaxy using the lithographic oxidation diffusion or ion implementation process that will be discussed later in the syllabus. But the prior thing, which is the diffusion process. The diffusions are called buried layers or diffusions under films. The presence of buried layers complicates the epitaxial process because of its effect on auto-doping. We discussed the doping and auto-doping in the previous lecture. It also affects the defects, pattern shifting, and pattern distortion. Okay, so these are the consequences of the buried layers. The pre-epitaxial process leaves a step of 500 to 1000 angstrom around the perimeter of the buried layer that marks its location. Figure A, figure 1. A of figure 1 that we discussed in the first lecture. Subsequent masking levels must be properly aligned with the buried layer pattern. Unfortunately, the deposition process shifts the pattern and lithography mask must compensate for the amount of shift. A separate but related effect in pattern distortion or washout which alters the shape of the feature in the layer. So what are the consequences that buried layer is putting on the design of the epitaxial pixel or epitaxial layer? Because of the diffusion, the original shape and size will be disturbed, and to avoid this we need to make the lithographic process that we will discuss. What is the lithography? The lithography mask must be designed in such a manner that whatever shift which is produced by the uh, diffusion process will be compensated. Okay, so pattern distortion and shifting are the consequences of buried layer. Now, the pattern in the epitaxial layer is thus misplaced and misshaped relative to the original configuration in the substrate. These effects place limitations on the design of high density circuits and are a complicated function of substrate orientation, growth rate, and temperature and silicon source. The crystal orientation has a profound effect on pattern shift since the layer does not grow normal to the substrate but rather by addition to micro steps. The micro step, the macro step marking the diffusion is shifted. As a result, the microscopic growth processes are altered by orientation of the wafer. Current practice is to misorient misorient wafers by 2 to 5 degrees towards the nearest direction and to orient wafers exactly on the orientation. Now this 111 and 110, 1000, these are the lattice structure patterns. Now, lattice structure is a topic of physics where we discuss that in which direction we are stretching or compressing or designing our particular material. It can be in the x direction, it can be in the xy direction, or it can be in the xyz, in all the directions. So here one is representing, if you say you are taking 100 plane, then you are concentrating on the x. If you are taking 110, then x and y. If you are taking 11, then x, y, and z in all the directions. So figure 17 illustrates the 100 case. Note that the pattern shift changes with epitaxial thickness. As shown in figure 18, pattern shift is independent of reactor design but does show a pronounced dependence on growth rate. This is a diagram, surface orientation versus displacement of center. So if you can see, the surface orientation is going from 0 to 60, and you can see that the displacement is also increasing from 7 to 15. This is the epitaxial thickness micrometer. The unit is micrometer. So as surface orientation in the direction 1000 is increasing, the displacement of the center is also increasing. Okay, these are the diagrams which is suggesting me that if I diffuse something over the epitaxial layer, then that particular diffusion causes the uh, shift in pattern and design of the epitaxial layer or my IC. Okay, nothing else. Pattern shifts increases and growth rate and reduced deposition temperature. The magnitude of the shift is largely equal to both for both 119 and 100 orientation. These results are for an epitaxial process under atmospheric pressure. The pattern shift is substantially reduced as the reactor pressure is lowered. Pattern distortion exhibits an opposing relation to the parameters previously mentioned. As shown in figure 19, for example, pattern shift is reduced at a higher growth temperature, but distortion increases and is more dependent on orientation. Now this diagram is showing me that pattern shift can be reduced at higher growth temperature. If I'm increasing the temperature from 1140 to 1260, the pattern shift, you can say this is the orientation 111, this is the orientation 100. In orientation 111, the distortion is the displacement is higher. In 100, the displacement is lower. But if you talk about the distortion, then in case of the 100 and 111 both have the same distortion rate. The growth rate, that is the micrometer per minute, it is approximately the same. Okay, so the distortion increases when we are increasing the temperature. But yeah, we can compensate for the pattern shift. A complete explanation of how all the variable affect pattern shift is not available, but includes the following elements. The step phase exposes a number of crystal planes which exhibits different growth rates. So all in all, we can say that the process of creating the buried layer causes the defect in the design of the IC, and that defect is actually because of the pattern shift, because of the displacement of the original pattern that was actually uh, developed for growing the diffusion layer over the IC. Okay, so this is all about buried layer, not an important topic. And see, the overall subject, if you talk about the VLSI design, is a purely theoretical subject, and it is all the physics. Okay, how the element is doped, what are the effect of doping, what is the pattern shift, what is the lattice structure, what is the size and shape, and how it is affecting and how we can compensate. It's all about that. The next topic is epitaxial defects. The crystal perfection of the layer never exceeds that of a substrate and is often inferior. The crystal perfection is a function of the properties of the substrate wafer and the epitaxial process itself. Defects arising from the substrate wafer can be, certain diagrams of defects related to the bulk properties of the wafer or its surface finish. So defect can be the property of the bulk and also the property of the surface. Item 1 in figure 21A is an example of an existing line disallocation continuing into the epitaxial layer. This is the epitaxial layer and this is the discontinuation which is shown. Okay, these are the discontinuation. Impurity precipitates are one kind of surface defect that nucleate on an epitaxial stacking fault. Process related defects include slip and impurity precipitates from contamination. Slip is a displacement of crystal planes past each other as a result of stress. Okay, so slip, then the dislocation, then the you can say the mm, defect over the pattern. These are the consequences of the epitaxial defects. Dislocations accompany the formation of slip. Contamination from the susceptor and the tweezers used in handling also contaminate the layer and substrate and form precipitates that act as defect in nuclei in subsequent processing. Tripyramids, heliox, and other growth features can be related to the process or the surface finish of the water. Okay, so these are the different kind of defects which is shown. Item number 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the defects over which is grown over the surface of the epitaxial layer. Okay, I'm not going into more details of this. A temperature gradient exists normal to the substrate in an RF heated reactor. Slip due to this gradient is produced in following manner. Heat flow from the susceptor through the water vapor equals subsequent radiation from the front surface. This is given by this formula where K is the thermal conductivity, dt by dx the normal temperature gradient, and E is the emissivity of the silicon, K is the radiant constant, E is the nominal vapor temperature. A front to near temperature difference of only a few degrees causes a differential expansion of the water vapor. In fact, the water curls up on the susceptor. When the vapor edges loses contact with the susceptor, the edge temperature drops, causing still further bowing. This radial temperature gradient results in sufficient stress to create dislocation the vapor. As explained in the chapter 1, the inverted heat flow of the radiant heated reactor minimizes the problem. So another class of the defects are misfit dislocation caused by the lattice mismatch. When the substrate is highly doped, the resultant strain between the layer and substrate is relieved by the formation of dislocation. So overall, if you conclude the two topics that we discussed today, first is the buried layer and second is the epitaxial defect. The summary is, if you are diffusing anything onto the epitaxial layer of the IC, so that diffusion creates the shift in pattern, shift in size of the pattern, the disallocation, and the defects. And the defects is basically caused by the disallocation of the lattice structure. Okay, so these are nothing but the consequences that buried layer, has on the design of the IC or the epitaxial. This is all about today's lecture. We will discuss some other topics in the coming lecture.